Imagine like spending weeks meticulously building a character. You know, you've accumulated wealth, carefully decorated a house, and stocked your player vendors with all these rare goods.
Yeah, the ultimate MMO dream, basically.
Right, exactly. But then you find yourself stranded in the desert without a single magical spell to get you home, and you're forced to eat a piece of rotten fruit because, well, your character is starving.
Which is just a terrible idea.
It really is, because the food makes you vomit, your health completely bottoms out from the sickness, and you die. And instantly, your character is permanently deleted.
Oof, gone.
Just gone. The house you built is seized by the game, your vendors shattered, just scattering your entire life's work into the dirt for anyone to grab. Everything is gone forever. Welcome to the perilous path.
It is, it's the absolute definition of a high-stakes survival shock. I mean, it completely shatters that illusion of safety that players usually rely on.
For sure. And, you probably already know UOAlive. It's the #1 PvE-only Ultima Online server. Usually you play the modern or legacy paths, right?
Right, the more traditional routes.
Yeah, the comfortable ways to build a character in this 25-year-old shared sandbox. It's safe, it's predictable, and very nostalgic. But today, our deep dive is looking at a masterclass in game design happening right under our noses.
And what's incredible about the Perilous path is that, well, it wasn't originally intended to be this massive psychological ordeal.
Wait, really? It wasn't planned from the start?
No, not at all. It was created simply as a fun little Easter egg, like a subtle nod to the old Siege Perilous days of the original game.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the developers saw the potential there and transformed it into a fully fleshed out, rogue-like experience.
Okay, let's unpack this. If a player decides they hate themselves enough to try this, I'm assuming they can't just, flip a switch on their current maxed out hero and instantly become a survivalist.
No, absolutely not. You have to create a brand new character completely from scratch.
Which is brutal in itself.
It is. And the game uses that fresh start to set the tone immediately. Because in standard play, a new character begins in New Haven.
Right, New Haven.
Yeah, and it's this warm, familiar starting zone. You've got helpful non-player characters and this uplifting, heroic music that makes you feel like, you're at the beginning of a grand adventure.
I actually want us to take a physical breath right here, just to think about the visceral contrast the player experiences in that exact second.
Oh, it is jarring.
Because if you have your game music on, the shift is incredible. You lock in the perilous path, and the game instantly yanks you out of New Haven.
Okay.
You are teleported directly to the city of Neutral.
Neutral, exactly.
The upbeat music just cuts out, and this new bone-chilling track takes over. It is immediate.
It's masterful atmosphere building, honestly, because from the ocean, Neutral looks like a jewel.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Marble streets, silk banners, these beautiful gardens. But the music tells you the absolute truth of your situation.
It feels like waking up from a nostalgic dream about your childhood and just getting dropped directly into a gritty, desaturated survival movie.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
And the lore actually backs this up perfectly. Nujum's beauty is built on debtor cells and blood. You're considered a pariah. And the wording in the source material is so deliberate here, pariahs are not welcomed. They are merely permitted.
Permitted for a price, yeah. I mean, you literally start the game with 50 murder counts.
50? That's insane.
Right, and you have a visible pariah tag on your name. So the entire world, fundamentally and systematically, despises you.
So you're basically an outcast from second one.
Exactly. Normal vendors won't buy from you, they won't sell to you, and they certainly won't train your skills for gold like they would for a normal player.
So you're cursed. But it's not just narrative flavor, which is where, a lot of games stop. The world hating you translates directly into the mechanics, specifically this 3-strike system.
Yeah, the 3 lives.
Right. So if I'm reading this right, the first time you die, your curse deepens. The second time, you're on your absolute last leg. And the third death, I have to be honest, when I read this, I thought I was misunderstanding the rules. It says the character is gone. Completely.
No, you read it perfectly. That third death is completely final.
Wow.
There is no glowing resurrection stone. No guildmate can, cast a spell to bring you back. Your corpse is immediately destroyed.
Wait, permanently? Like, even your assets, I mentioned this in the intro, but losing your rented properties and having your player vendors explode? Doesn't that level of punishment just make players quit entirely?
You would definitely think so.
Because it feels almost abusively harsh for a massively multiplayer game where the whole point is usually long-term progression.
It does feel that way, but that's actually the genius of the roguelike design loop. What's fascinating here is how this system operates entirely within the existing modern and legacy sandbox.
Wait, really? It's not a separate server?
Not at all. You aren't on a separate hard mode server. You are walking the exact same streets of Nuzlocke as normal legacy players.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and they're completely safe, their items are insured against loss, and they have infinite lives.
So you are literally sweating bullets because a random monster spawn could permanently delete your character while the guy next to you is just casually sorting his bank box, completely relaxed.
Exactly. The psychological tension of that contrast is wild. It creates this intense psychological friction
I can imagine.
because that proximity to safety really heightens your adrenaline. Every single step, every dungeon corner becomes meaningful because the stakes are real.
Right, the fear of death forces you to take the game seriously.
But, and this is the crucial part, because the game frames your character as a run, much like a modern roguelike game, the frustration of dying is almost immediately replaced by the urge to roll a new pariah.
Like, you just want to apply the painful lessons you just learned.
Precisely. You want to get back in and do better.
But applying those lessons seems nearly impossible when you are stripped of all the normal tools. Like, normal players have instant teleportation, right? Spells like recall or gate travel.
Yeah, they just pop around the map.
But as a pariah, you don't have magic escapes. Which means if you walk an hour deep into a dungeon, you have to literally survive the walk back out.
Every single step back.
And it's not just the monsters that will kill you, it's your own metabolism, right?
Oh, yeah. Because pariahs are subjected to a brutal, realistic hunger system.
Because normal players don't really worry about that.
Right. A normal player can just summon some magical food and be totally fine for hours. But magical food does absolutely nothing for a pariah's hunger.
So what do you eat?
You need real physical food, like cooked meals, gathered crops, or, in desperate situations, completely rotten garbage you find on the ground.
Which makes a skill like taste identification, a skill I honestly always thought was basically useless flavor text in standard play, actually vital for survival.
It really is.
Because it helps you get more nutritional value out of a moldy piece of fruit. But I've got to push back on one thing in these notes.
Okay, what is it?
It says if you eat the same food too often, your character gets disgusted. And if you force them to keep eating it, they vomit.
Yep, that's true.
Now, vomiting in a video game is almost always just a gross-out visual gag, like in an old theme park simulator. Is this actually a real hazard here?
Oh, it is a highly lethal hazard. The act of vomiting isn't just a funny animation. It deals damage equal to 7% of your maximum health.
Are you serious? 7%?
Every single time.
So if my health is already low because I'm starving in the wilderness and I just force down another rotten fish steak,
Yep.
I can puke myself to permanent death.
Literally. You can vomit yourself into oblivion. And the best part is, the game records your official cause of death on the public leaderboards as vomiting.
That is as hilarious as it is terrifying. I mean, knowing I can die from bad fish, random monsters, or literal vomiting, my instinct as a player is to say, forget the wilderness.
Oh, of course. Stay inside.
Right, I'll just rent a room in a guarded town, set up a macro, and safely swing my sword at a training dummy for 3 days until I'm an absolute powerhouse, and then I'll step outside.
And the developers fully anticipated that exact instinct.
Did that?
Oh, yeah. Because human nature is to optimize the fun out of a game for the sake of safety. We will basically always choose the boring, safe route if it guarantees success.
That's so true.
So to counter this, they built this psychological cattle prod, the tedium system.
Oh, here's where it gets really interesting. Because it doesn't matter if you're in a guarded town or locked inside your own house.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
If you sit in a safe area repeating the exact same skill once it's past a baseline of 50, your character builds up tedium.
Yep. You start feeling restless, then tired, then tedious, and finally completely overwhelmed.
And what happens then?
Once you hit that overwhelmed state, you stop learning entirely. Your skills simply will not raise no matter how much you practice.
Wow, and I can't just walk to the kitchen and back to clear it.
Nope, pacing around your house won't save you.
So I have to go take a real risk. There's a great quote in the Pariah guides, actually. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. To clear your head, you have to go fight something dangerous outside of a guarded region, or gather resources in the wild.
Or, you can try jousting.
Which, from what I read, seems like a terrible, terrible idea for clearing your boredom.
It is the ultimate high-risk, high-reward option, honestly. Jousting instantly clears your tedium, but if you joust another pariah and lose, you have a 50% chance of suffering a fatal kill.
A 50% chance of death? You're tossing a coin on losing one of your 3 precious lives just to cure your cabin fever.
Exactly. It's desperate measures for desperate times.
But if I don't want to joust, I can try thievery, right? The game actually gives pariahs the snooping and stealing skills for free.
Yes, and they don't count towards your overall skill cap either.
Which makes thematic sense, I guess. Polite society rejected you, so you have to become a thief to survive.
It fits the lore perfectly.
But getting caught isn't just a matter of a generic town guard instantly killing you.
No, the consequences are highly dynamic. If you get caught stealing, the game pauses and presents choices based on your actual skill levels.
Like a prompt pops up.
Exactly. So if you have high stealth, you can attempt to slip away. If you have high begging, you can literally beg for mercy. Or use snooping to attempt this sleight of hand, put it back maneuver.
And if I just choose to fight? Or if I ignore the warnings from the NPCs I've been harassing?
Then the game summons an enforcer.
And what is that?
These are temporary, incredibly lethal creatures specifically spawned by the system just to hunt you down. And you don't get any loot or experience for killing them either.
Really? No reward?
None. Your only reward is surviving, keeping what you stole, and not losing a life.
That's terrifying. And if you fail your crime and don't get a combat prompt, you get thrown in pariah jail. Which, by the way, isn't just a timeout room where you can go make a sandwich in real life.
Oh, no, it's much worse.
They strip your character naked, hand you a pickaxe, and force you to perform hard labor under the watchful eyes of the guards, surviving on rotten food until your sentence is up.
The stakes of thievery are just insane, especially when you look at the ultimate heist in this system, the succubus.
Ah, yes, the IDOC. For anyone not deep into Ultima Online real estate mechanics, IDOC stands for In Danger of Collapsing.
Right.
When a player stops playing, their house eventually decays and collapses, dropping all their hoarded loot to the ground. It creates this massive, chaotic, server-wide scramble.
It's a free-for-all.
But the developers added a succubus to these events, and pariahs can actually try to steal from it in the middle of all that chaos.
Exactly. You are constantly weighing the slow, painful survival of scraping by in the city against the massive potential payoff and horrific risk of targeting a high-level entity.
In a crowded, chaotic event space where one wrong move means death.
Exactly. It's greed versus survival.
This actually raises an important question, though. If guarded society hates you, and you can't buy food or train with normal NPCs, how do you actually participate in an economy?
It's tough.
Like, how do you get the gear required to fight off an enforcer?
You really have to tap into the New Jelm underground. Tucked away in the dark corners of the city that polite society ignores, there are these pariah-only vendors.
Okay, so there is someone to trade with.
Yes, characters like Mr. Gray, the questionable chef, and a shady rug dealer.
But it's an uphill battle, isn't it? Mr. Gray operates a black market where things like power scrolls are sold at triple the normal price.
Triple. It's punishing.
And power scrolls are absolutely essential endgame items that allow you to raise your skill caps. Having to pay triple for them is a devastating economic hurdle.
Oh, and the banking system itself is just as bad.
Yeah, it's like being unbanked in the real world and having to carry your life savings in cash through a dangerous neighborhood.
That is a perfect analogy. Because normal players enjoy account-wide wealth. A pariah only has a personal bank, and it is strictly capped at 5 million gold.
Only 5 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even sovereigns function completely differently.
How so?
Instead of a safe digital wallet, a pariah has to carry physical sovereign notes in their backpack or in their limited personal bank.
Oh man, physical notes you can drop.
Exactly. The pariah economy is entirely intentionally severed from the rest of the server.
Which leaves you completely isolated. Normal players can't heal you, they can't party with you, they can't trade with you.
You're on your own.
But that isolation leads to one of the most brilliant community mechanics I've ever seen, the Pariah Area Contract Tracking System.
Right, a bounty board.
Yeah, you take contracts to sweep specific dungeons or hunt major bosses. It's designed to give pariahs a tangible reason to group up. Because you are all outcasts, you really need each other.
And the rewards are vital for survival. Completing a contract can guarantee you a +1 skill point or grant utility bags filled with rare baits, magical food, and survival potions that you can't easily buy.
It's a huge incentive to take risks. Because you can't group with normal players if you want to take down a massive dungeon sweep or a boss. You have to form a pact with other outcasts.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is really a masterclass in community building.
It really is.
By stripping away all the normal MMO comforts and cutting pariahs off from the global economy, the developers didn't destroy the social aspect of the game. They actually enhanced it.
They forced everyone together.
Right. They forced these players to rely entirely on one another.
The trauma bonding must be so real.
Oh, it truly is. You get these incredibly tight-knit bands of outcasts who have to trust each other implicitly because, one bad pull in a dungeon could mean permanent deletion for the entire group.
And the incentive to take those group risks is huge, right? Because PayCTS rewards you with utility bags.
Those utility bags are lifesavers.
But more importantly, guaranteed plus 1.0 skill point rewards. Getting a guaranteed full skill point is like finding water in the desert.
It provides a profound incentive to just leave the safety of the city walls and take coordinated risks.
But let's face facts here. No matter how tight your PayCTS group is, no matter how perfectly you manage your tedium and your food, that third death is coming.
It is inevitable.
The odds are just mathematically stacked against you. So when that fatal blow lands, is all of that effort, all those hours of survival, just evaporated into the digital ether?
Well, not entirely, and this is where the system borrows heavily from modern roguelike meta progression to kind of soften the blow.
Okay, how does that work?
If a pariah survives a significant amount of active playtime, and to be clear, standing around idle in a house doesn't count toward this, they leave behind what's called an echo of the fallen.
So your current doomed run directly fuels your next attempt. How exactly does the math work on that?
It is tiered based on active survival. So surviving 24 active hours means your character leaves an echo that remembers one of your highest skills, granting your next newly rolled pariah 1 hour of accelerated gains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and 48 hours remembers 2 skills for 2 hours. 72 hours remembers 3 skills for 3 hours.
So it's like a passing of the torch. It makes that third death feel less like a deletion and more like an investment in your lineage.
Exactly.
But speaking of deletion, I need you to confirm this gravestone mechanic for me.
Oh, the gravestones.
Because it sounds like one of the most macabre, brilliant things I've ever seen in a game. When you take that third death, you get a unique death code. But to actually claim your spot in the graveyard, you have to pull the plug yourself.
Yes. To claim your gravestone, you have to go to your character selection screen and manually, permanently delete the fallen character yourself.
That goes against every single instinct an MMO player has. Like, we hoard characters. We leave them logged out in taverns for years.
We do. But it is a necessary ritual here. The fallen must be truly laid to rest.
Wow.
And only after you manually delete them can your next pariah take that death code to the Perilous gravedigger.
Okay. And then what does the gravedigger do?
He then plants a permanent physical gravestone.
It immortalizes your character's name, exactly how long they survived, the date they died, and their final killer.
Everything is recorded.
So whether you were slain by a legendary demon, a failed joust, or vomiting, it is preserved forever.
And the community actually feels the impact before the stone is even placed.
Really? How?
There is a beautifully eerie system of shared omens. When a pariah suffers their final death, every single other pariah who is currently online sees a private, atmospheric overhead message in the game.
Oh, giving me chills. They all look up at the same digital sky and see the omen.
Exactly.
It's like this dark, magical connection binding all the outcasts together. The world watches you walk the path, and it remembers when you fall.
It perfectly encapsulates the entire experience. You are completely alone, but you are part of a shared suffering.
So what does this all mean? We're looking at a 25-year-old game, a classic MMO foundation that most people associate with safe, nostalgic grinding. But UOAlive has injected it with this thrilling, modern, roguelike heartbeat.
It proves a fundamental rule of game design that I think modern developers often forget. Limitations, harsh rules, and the genuine fear of loss can create a vastly more engaging experience than pure safety and convenience.
Absolutely.
It gives immediate meaning to every fish steak you eat and every dungeon corridor you walk down.
You aren't just clicking rocks to watch a number go up, you're actually surviving.
Exactly. The music changes and you realize there is no autosave here. There is no going back.
This is how you died.
Exactly.
And I want to leave you with a thought that goes a bit beyond the screen today. Think about that tedium mechanic in the context of your own life.
Oh, that's a great point.
How often do we sit in our safe zones, repeating the exact same comfortable routines day in and day out, and then wonder why we aren't growing?
More often than we'd like to admit.
Right. What if we all needed a little more peril in our lives? Something to force us to break the loop, take a genuine risk, and finally learn something new. The next time you feel stuck in a rut, ask yourself, are you just building up tedium? And what is the worthy foe you need to face to clear your head?